Hi, this is Sonoria. Going on with my story, part 47, 48. So, as I was saying, so it turns out that we're getting ready and all this stuff is happening. The dogs are going crazy. There's things going on in the house. So, by the time we got assembled and everything together and we all getting ready to go out the door, um, when we opened our front door, there was this big old pentagram on our door and it was in red and it had a lot of little scribbly letters and wordings and stuff, and I don't know what they were, but whatever it was, it wasn't a good thing. It was symbols I'd never seen before and all whatever, but it was like a pentagram, that I can say. And my granddad was like, "What is this?" And then he was trying to get it off, and like whatever this is serious. So my grandma said, "Forget it. Don't worry about that. We'll just take care of it when we get back." So we go out to the car. Now they had two cars and a truck. So we went out to the car. When we got out to the car, attached to the car was a string, a rope, and it had some old shoes. I ain't never seen them. I don't know what decade them shoes came out. It might have been in 1920 or something, because these was some old ass shoes. I don't even know where they came from. Anyway, they were tied up to the car. We went to check, and the tires were flat. On the vehicle, all the tires were flat. So she said, "I'm not finna be outdone." My grandma said, "I'm not finna be outdone. I'm coming." So she's talking out loud as though, the woman's there, but the woman's not there, but she's talking out loud and we can hear her. And she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm coming." So no, we'll take the other car. So we get another car, and she had this Riviera that she had brought all the way from Wichita, Kansas. That was her baby, and that was a smooth running car. But anyway, keep it on story. So we're in the car, and we headed over to this lady's house. Now, we lived in Aurora, and she lived over by the other military base, Laurie Air Force Base. She lived closer to that. So we went over there. We got to her apartment building. Now, she lived where she lived at. She lived in a building that also had a security gate, and you had to have a code, or either you had to be buzzed in. And when you get inside, if you can get inside, then it's an open corridor and you can see all the apartments, and it's just going all the way up, maybe fifth floors, apartments all around. And then the centerpiece, it had landscaping, like a little pool statue with water coming out of it. It was a really nice apartment complex. So when we got there, we couldn't get in because, again, we don't have a key, and she's definitely not gonna just let us in. So um, the youngest child, not my cousin. Well, neither one of these girls is really my cousin. They both is my sisters. I mean my aunts, because they were my mom's sisters. But the other one was younger than that, so she was, I don't know, she was young enough for us to pick her up and put her over the gate and have her open the door for us, and we were standing there. And so we going up there, and we got inside and stuff. And my grandmother's a very, I mean, I think I'm strong, but this lady was very strong willed, and she was unapologetic for it. And you could tell she was serious. So we get in, and she said, "Yeah, she knows I'm coming. Yeah, and I'm almost at your house right now." And I mean, she's just talking like the woman just standing right there with us, but she wasn't. But my grandmother was talking to her all this time, just talking back and forth, saying different things out loud. And so we nervous. We don't know what the hell's going on. We just scared. We don't know what to expect and what's going to happen. So we get upstairs, and she lived like on the third or fourth floor. So we had to go up. We got up to her house, and she lived in the corner. And I recall that her curtain, it was parted open a little bit, so you could see inside of where her kitchen area was. So my grandmother then went to the door, was knocking on the door, and she wouldn't answer the door. And of course, the door is locked. And so my grandmother was still talking like, "Yeah, well, I know you there, and I know you know I'm out here, so just open up the door." And so we all looking around and stuff. Me, I'm deciding to look in the window. Then looking, I seen her. She was in there, and she was inside of the house, inside of a circle. It was a circle on the floor, and she was standing in the middle of it, and she had on that long black dress. the same one my uncle just had told his mom that she was wearing, and she was in his room. So now, this is what I'm saying about spiritual stuff. Like, I've had to live through this. This is not something somebody told me. This is shit I actually lived through and witnessed myself with my own eyes and ears. And it was crazy. And she's just standing there, like a person in mourning, and it's all black. And my grandmother was like, "Open up the door. I know, and then I can see you." And the rest of us was all looking in the window. "Yeah, I see her. Yeah, she's right there. And this and this and that." And so I'm gonna say this: while we all were looking in the window at her, the door opens up, and my grandmother actually, it seems like she slid inside. I don't know if the woman pulled her inside or what happened, and the door slammed immediately behind her. We couldn't get in. We was trying the door. We was bumping against it. We was making a bunch of noise trying to get the door open. And her and my grandmother, my grandmother stood outside of the pentagram, and they both were talking back and forth. So whatever was going on, she was trying to put a curse on my grandmother, to curse her, to strangle her. And she had a son, and her son was in the room. And so when this was all taking place, we're outside. We can't do nothing. We just looking through the window trying to see what's happening, what's going to happen. Some of them trying to get in the door. And long story short, she was trying to choke my grandmother. They was doing something back and forth with each other, making words, and I guess it was a battle. And the spirit started choking her son, and that's what made her stop. And so she stopped, and my grandmother was like, "Yeah," because again, she knows she has power. They both have powers. They just using it in their own way. And then I'm gonna share a story with you that my grandmother told me. This same grandmother, my mom's mother, told me um, how she first came in contact with voodoo and the effects of that. So that's another whole nother story. I'm gonna tell you about that story. Don't worry, I'll get into that story. But right now I'm just talking about her. So then the door opens, it's unlocked. I mean, we looking at them, so didn't nobody go and open up the door for us. I mean, the door just unlocked, and they was trying the door. Finally, the door was unlocked, and they opened up the door, and my grandmother was like, "Okay," and then we just left. And I'm like, "What the hell just happened?" Weirdest shit. You just can't make it up. And to live through that, and to see that, and to witness that, and even with me telling the story, I know it sounds crazy. I know it doesn't sound believable, but trust me, every story I ever share on here is always going to be the truth. I stand before God. I will not lie to you about the events, because it's so important that people understand there is real shit in this world, and we just aren't equipped all the time for it. And you do need to know, and you need to know how to armor yourself up for whatever you're going through. So long story short, we go back home. Now we up. We can't sleep. We all trying to decipher what didn't happen, what's going on, what to the what. My grandmother and granddad is talking. She's talking to my uncle, the one who had the relationship with the woman, and this and that. And then his brother, of course, he's still shaking up, because he's the one that she's seen her, and she was down there talking to him. So he was still upset, a little nervous and whatever. But anyway, we left, went to back to our house, didn't have no problems. But it was the fact that this woman, the sorcery that she used, um, even the pentagram that was on the door later on, because my grandmother took it down, and took it down to a psychic or a reader or some type, and she told her what was written on that doorway was a message that said, "Curse this house with death." So this was very extreme. So I'm just saying this is because I didn't know, and of course I don't think nobody else knew, but my grandmother didn't even know what it said. But she wrote down everything and took a picture of it and took it down to a lady, because she knew about healers and psychics and all this other stuff, because of the stuff that she had previously gone through in her younger years. So like I said, I will share that story with you as well, because I want you to understand that all of my life there has been attacks, and I've seen and heard things, and things have been going on. And that's what makes me wonder about these generational curses, What did they do? How did we come into this stuff? Why is it happening to this family? Why are we so much under attack all the time? So, yeah, I just wanted to put that part out there. So we're at the house and we're talking about everything, and everything's going fine. It's just that we couldn't go to sleep. We were just nervous, upset, and confused and stuff. So when the girls, my grandmother told us to go on in our room and go to bed. So, I'm nosy. So now we scared. We got stuff pushed against the door. We got the bed. We got the dresser. We done moved everything away. And I'm gonna tell you something. This woman showed up at the house. Okay, again. This time we could hear her, and it's like she was like outside of the on the top. I mean, I'm on the top floor. I don't know how she got up there, but you could hear her actually walking around on the shutters of the house. And I was like, oh my God. We were scared. We started screaming and hollering. My grandmother said, calm down. She can't do nothing to you. She can't hurt you. She can't even enter this house again. So that didn't make us feel no better. We was like, no, we scared, and we was all bunched up together, all in a corner, at the doorway, but the door was blocked off with all the stuff that we had. And when my grandmother came up there, and because we started screaming because we heard her outside, and then my grandmother came to the door. What's going on? What's going? And then she was trying to open the door, and we had the door locked, and had stuff against it. Take that stuff away from this door and open this door up. She wanted to get in, and we trying to keep that woman out. But my grandmother made us move it all and said, don't you worry about it. I take care of it. I took care of it. She ain't coming in the house. No matter what you hear, no matter what's going on, don't worry about that, because she can't do nothing to you. Not in this house, and she won't be coming back. Still didn't make us feel good. But anyway, so we were up all night. We didn't get no sleep. And long story short, we didn't go to school that next day like we thought we were going to go. So anyway, that was the end of that for that particular night. When we got up the next day, we got the dogs and we was outside. My granddad had dug a hole in the back because he was thinking about putting in a fountain, water fountain back there. And my granddad was a construction worker, very good one at that. And so I was outside, and would you not know, it was a big ass snake in the hole. My grandmother told me stay away from it. But me, I'm adventurous. I've been collecting animals since I was a little girl. I'm not afraid of nothing. I done brought snakes home. I done brought all kind of creatures to the house. And my mom, she just knew once I went outside, ain't no telling what I might bring home. So anyway, I'm gonna cut it off because I'm at my 13 minutes. I'm gonna cut it off. I'm gonna be coming right back. So do not leave. Continue watching, and I will continue this journey with my story.